Hamza Ehsan 1657756. Anyone can hear me? Aman Safir? Anyone can hear me? Please respond.
जी सर, आई कैन हियर यू।
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. And slides नजर आ रही हैं बेटा? वकारुल अब्बास,
यस
जी
सर।
सर,
स्लाइड्स
आ रही
नजर आ रही हैं बेटा?
जी सर।
ओके,
सर ये
थैंक।
कंटिन्यू स्टिल एक ही स्लाइड नजर आ रही है तब से।
अभी हम बदलेंगे ना, अभी तो लेक्चर शुरू हुआ है यार, अभी तो पार्टी शुरू
ठीक
हुई
है,
है ना
थैंक यू सर।
वकार। पहले तो हम डिस्कस कर रहे थे ना व्हाट वाज इन एक्चुअल वेस्टर्न ब्लॉटिंग, सो नाउ वी विल मूव
जी
द
सर।
स्लाइड्स, डोंट वरी। Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, in the name of Allah, the most merciful and the most beneficent. uh, Aman Safir, please mark the attendance. Thank you so much for that and all your help you did for us and for this class. I'm very thankful for you. I'm very thankful to you for this. And last lecture we discussed about what in actual Western blotting is and why we perform Western blotting. Now we just have a look to the slides to understand more about that. So in there are we usually we have RNA, DNA, and proteins, and to study about or to separate the proteins, DNA, and RNA, we just have different types of techniques. For proteins, we have for Western blotting. For RNA, we have Northern blotting, and for DNA, we have Southern blotting. So anyone wants to tell me why we call protein extraction, protein analysis as Western blotting? Anyone want to tell me about that? Why the name is Western blotting? Anyone please raise your hand if you know why we call this technique as Western blotting. Okay, anyone knows why we call the technique of DNA related is known as Southern blotting? Why we, okay, Muniza Maqsood, जी बेटा.
सर आपने बताया था कि सदरन ब्लोटिंग में जो इन्वेंट किया था ये मेथड जिन्होंने साइंटिस्ट ने, उनका नाम सदरन था, कि उसी हिसाब से जो है प्रोटीन का वेस्टर्न और आरएनए का जो है वो नदरन रखा गया था।
Very good, beta. You are absolutely right. Professor Southern just invented or designed this technique, and on his name, the technique named was Southern blotting. And after that, for reconciliation or for synchronization, the other names are Western blotting, Northern blotting, and Eastern blotting. What Aman Safir, please mark a asterisk on the name of Muniza Maqsood for when you just send me the attendance that she just replied the question. Thank you so much. So the Western blot is a widely used analytical technique in molecular biology, proteomics, immunogenetics, and other approaches or other different domains of biology like cell biology and others. So here we have Bismillah. Now, okay, Ihtisham, oh sorry, Wakarul Abbas, slide move हो गई है?
जी सर हो गई है।
Okay, thank you. So there are three types of blotting. We already discussed that Southern blotting, Northern blotting, and Western blotting. Southern blotting is used for the detection of DNA analysis, and Western blotting is for the detection of different proteins, and Northern blotting is for the detection of different of RNA. So there are three types of blotting techniques we have. Western blotting, also known as immunoblotting, and in this technique we specifically detect the different proteins on the basis of their size, on their weight, by using electrophoresis technique, by using gel electrophoresis technique of labeled antibodies. So what is the specific procedure? We already discussed the procedure in detail in our last lecture. So now we will have again we are going to read or study the procedure. In this, different synthetic or animal derived antibodies are created that just specifically react or attach with the target protein. So we just discussed before that the antibodies were generated because with the help of sheep, with the help of goat, goat, and mouse and rat. So electrophoresis membrane also washed with different solutions when we just have adding the antibody, so antibody can just specifically bind at the appropriate position, and extra antibody we should have to wash with the help of T20, that is known as T20 twin 20. The excess antibody is washed out and secondary antibody is added through various methods such as staining, immunofluorescence, and radioactivity. The secondary antibody can also visualize by the protein that we already discussed, that we have different types of machines like GelDoc, or for the immunofluorescence or radioactivity element, we just have the developing film procedure for analyzing the results. First of all, we should have protein. How to prepare the protein? From where we can get the protein? From bacteria, from virus, from cells, from tissues, depends on the nature of experiment, or the animal model, or the bacteria virus you have. After that, we perform gel electrophoresis. In protein preparation, we also have the steps of protein lysis and protein quantification. In protein preparation, we have the protein in final stage. After that, we just run the gel electrophoresis, as we discussed, that we add the dye and run the gel electrophoresis. After that, we have transferring with the help of transferring operators. Then we block the block the protein opening mouth by adding into milk, and after that we have detection through different approaches and analyze the results. For protein preparation, first we have the samples from cell culture, and if you are not working on cells and you are working on tissues or viruses or bacteria, then you have to extract the protein according to that specific method to perform the Western blotting. And Western blotting is not only restricted for cellular studies, you can also extract the protein from tissues, from bacteria, from viruses. Different types of detergents, salts, buffer, and chemicals are used to extract the protein through lysis. And protein preparation is often performed at cold temperature to avoid protein denaturation. In this figure, you can have a look that first we have so many cells, and like in this this is known as vial, that we already discussed in our previous lecture. This is vial, and this we added lysis with the cells to the vial for 45 minutes minimum, and not more than 1 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes, otherwise you will also damage the protein with that lysis buffer. In later slides, we will have the protocol or the recipe of how to prepare that buffers. Then we have one as supernatant, and the other is like cell debris. Cell debris has all the content of cells, like nucleus, electrons, protons, and chloroplast, mitochondria, and different types of contents of cell just lower down in as a cell debris. And the supernatant has all the soluble proteins that we extracted. Cell lysis disrupts the carefully controlled cellular environment. This can cause the unwanted protein modification. To prevent this lysis is preferred. So that's why this lysis is just preferred at low temperature, as we already discussed, that we have to place the vials into the ice, so the temperature can be maintained at 4 or less than or below 4. So in this figure, you can see if the temperature of the lysis or the temperature of that medium is less than 4 or 4, then the protein didn't denature, it's in its original shape. However, if the temperature is 25 or room temperature, the protein denature, and when the protein becomes denature, then you have to face the consequences. Then we have to perform the gel electrophoresis. In gel electrophoresis, the sample of proteins were used, and the samples just separated with the help of different the added buffer. In that one, separation of protein is depends on its molecular weight, the charge the protein has, the and different factors including isoelectric point. Anyone wants to share what is isoelectric point? Anyone? Please raise your hand. Muhammad Umar, what is isoelectric point?
So the point at which the net charge on is 0.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else want to share what is isoelectric point? एहतिशाम लियाकत.
द आइसोइलेक्ट्रिक पॉइंट सर वो पीएच होती है जिसमें मॉलिक्यूल्स के ऊपर कोई भी सर चार्ज नहीं होता,
जिसमें मॉलिक्यूल
न्यूट्रल होते
चार्ज नहीं होते, न्यूट्रल होते हैं. थैंक यू. महविश फरहाद, फरियाद और फरहाद में भी
सर वही एक पीएच होती है जिस
जी बेटा बता.
चार्ज नहीं होता.
ओके, थैंक यू सो मच. एनीवन एल्स? प्लीज म्यूट योर माइक. एहतिशाम लियाकत जी. आमना सईद. आमना सईद. I think she lost the connection. वकारुल अब्बास.
सर इसके लिए हमारे पास एक स्टैंडर्ड नोमेनक्लेचर होता है जो आइसोइलेक्ट्रिक पॉइंट को रिप्रेजेंट करता है.
ओके, अस्मा ताज.
सर प्रोटीन सॉल्यूशन होता है जिसमें प्रोटीन की पीएच 0 हो जाती है.
Okay, thank you. Everyone, please, when you gave your answer, please mute your mic after that. Thank you so much. जी अक्सा असगर.
जी सर इसमें न्यूट्रल हो जाती है पीएच स्टैटिकल मीन के थ्रू.
Okay,
अगर हम
thank you.
स्टैटिकल.
Thank you beta. Thank you so much. Aman Safir, please mark everyone, or if Aman Safir is not present, Asma Taj GR, please mark everyone who just give me the answer. Thank you so much for that.
ओके सर.
Sometimes बेटा ये मैटर नहीं करता कि आपका आंसर सही है कि गलत है. ये मैटर करता है कि आपने जुर्रत की है, हौसला रखा है, गट्स हैं आप में आंसर देने के, क्वेश्चन को फेस करने के, ऑनलाइन क्लास की 50 बंदों में नर्वसनेस को बर्दाश्त करने के. जी अफशान.
सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है.
जी
सर अभी
जनाब.
जैसे का भी हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं कि उसमें नेट चार्ज इलेक्ट्रिकली 0 हो जाता है.
जी जी.
तो सर ये किस कंडीशन में 0 होगा? पॉजिटिव H पॉजिटिव आयन और OH नेगेटिव किस तरह आपस में न्यूट्रल हो सकते हैं?
न्यूट्रल
केस
कैसे?
में?
बहुत सी रीजंस हैं, बहुत से फैक्टर्स इन्वॉल्व होते हैं इसमें. तो इन एक्चुअल जब लाजमी नहीं है कि हो, लेकिन जब प्रोटीन 0 नेट चार्ज पे आ जाए तब उस पॉइंट को आइसोइलेक्ट्रिक पॉइंट कहते हैं. लाजमी नहीं है कि आपने आइसोइलेक्ट्रिक पॉइंट करके हटना है, और इसके लिए बहुत से फैक्टर्स इन्वॉल्व हैं. कई मरतबा सॉल्वेंट इस तरह का होता है, कई मरतबा एक्सटर्नल इन्वायरमेंट इस तरह का होता है, कई मरतबा आप आप नहीं मतलब कि आइटम स्पेसिफिकली प्रोटीन किसी दूसरी प्रोटीन से इंटरेक्ट करती है. इन एक्चुअल जब नेट चार्ज आपका 0 हो जाए ना, तो उस कंडीशन में उसको आइसोइलेक्ट्रिक पॉइंट कहते हैं. सपोज करें जब आप खाना. जी 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 बताएं बेटा.
सर मैंने सुना था कि बिल्कुल 0 नहीं होता किसी भी प्रोटीन का.
नहीं सुनाई बातों को छोड़ें, अफशान रेफरेंस से बात करें.
मैंने जगह पे पढ़ा था बस.
अच्छा हाँ जी, ऐसे कह लेना. काइंडली आप उसका रेफरेंस फाइंड करें और उसके फैक्टर्स हमारे साथ भी शेयर करें फिर. बिकॉज एज आई रिमेम्बर आइसोइलेक्ट्रिक पॉइंट जैसे बाकी बच्चों ने बताया नेट चार्ज 0, और मे बी हम 0 ना होता हो, कुछ चार्ज थोड़ा बहुत हो पॉइंट्स में, लेकिन कंसिडर्ड एज 0 समटाइम्स. ठीक है बेटा.
जी सर.
थैंक यू सो मच एवरीवन थैंक यू सो मच. बेटा कोशिश किया करें पार्टिसिपेट करने की. क्वेश्चन इज हाफ नॉलेज and participating just boost up your nervous system to reduce in these conditions. ये जो एक्टिविटी थी इसका भी यही मकसद था कि 1-2 मिनट में अपना मौकफ बयान करना और नर्वसनेस को संभालना, all that. So ये जुर्रत तो इसके लिए वर्ड ठीक नहीं होगा मेरे ख्याल. क्या स्पेसिफिक वर्ड होगा आंसर देने के लिए? रिस्क लेना चाहिए जवाब देने का. लाजमी नहीं है कि वो हर बार सही हो, गलत भी हो सकता है कई मरतबा. और मोस्टली मेरे ख्याल से मैं उस बच्चे को बहुत अप्रिशिएट करता हूँ जो कोशिश करता है, क्योंकि कोशिशें आहिस्ता आहिस्ता कामयाबी की तरफ ले जाती हैं. ठीक है, अगर आप कोशिश ही नहीं करेंगे तो आप कामयाबी की तरफ कैसे जाएंगे? कोशिशें आहिस्ता आहिस्ता कामयाबी की तरफ ले जाती हैं. सो द प्रोटीन जो जेल इलेक्ट्रोफोरेसिस में हम बात कर रहे थे कि प्रोटीन्स जो हैं वो सेपरेट हो जाती हैं, क्योंकि वो जो हमारे पास ऊपर प्रोटीन सोल्यूशन आया था उसमें एक प्रोटीन नहीं थी, उसमें पूरे के पूरे सेल की प्रोटीन्स थी. अब सेल के अंदर कितनी प्रोटीन्स हैं? मे बी 20,000 प्रोटीन्स हैं, 25,000 प्रोटीन्स हैं, जितनी टोटल प्रोटीन्स हैं वो सारी की सारी उस थोड़े सा जो ऊपर मटेरियल हमारे पास आया था उसमें मौजूद थी। और अब हर प्रोटीन का आपको पता है साइज और मॉलिक्यूलर वेट जो और डिफरेंट जो उसके फैक्टर्स हैं वो डिफरेंट हैं। तो उन बेसिस के ऊपर उस जेल के अंदर वो 20,000 या 30,000 या 50,000 जितनी भी प्रोटीन्स हैं वो सेपरेट हो चुकी हैं जेल इलेक्ट्रोफोरेसिस में। After that we have SDS page. The recipe of SDS page is mentioned here. That and okay, females में किसको किसको cooking आती है? Anyone wants to raise their hands? Okay, Asma Taj. तो बेटा Aksa Asgar,
Yes, sir.
everyone knows cooking somehow. So in cooking, you know we have recipes. Everyone please lower down your hands. I know you are everyone is very good cook. So when we make something or any dish, we use different recipes. So in science, when we make buffers or we make some other chemicals, we also called it as recipe. What is the recipe of that specific buffer? What is the recipe of that specific experiment? So recipe word also used here. If you guys remember Professor Sanger, anyone knows Professor Sanger? That introduced the method of Sanger method for sequencing. So Professor Sanger said that every science starts from kitchen. So here we are going to discuss the recipe of SDS page. Traditionally for 10% tris glycine mini jello for SDS page depends on the depends that which protein you are going to analyze. Then you have to make the gel accordingly or according to the nature of that protein. So you have to make thin gel, you have to make thick gel, depends on the weight, molecular weight, and the size of that protein. So usually 10% or 15% or 13% gel used for these experiments, and again depends on the nature of the protein. 7.5 milliliter 40% of acrylamide solution, 3.9 milliliter 1% bisacrylamide solution, 7.5 ml 1.5 molar tris HCl that should have the pH of 8.7, and it is very hard to maintain the pH. Sometimes we have like the big labs usually use the chemicals very fast because they have so many experiments, but the small lab that has limited number of experiments usually have buffers for longer time. So if you are going to use the buffer that you prepared almost 1 month or 2 months back, you should have to check the pH, that the solution maintain the pH or not. Otherwise you will just disrupt all the experiment and you have to face the consequences. Then you have to add water, that is 30 milliliter, 0.3 milliliter 10% of APS, 0.3 milliliter 10% of SDS sodium dodecyl, and 0.3% ml of TAMID. TAMID is carcinogenic, and you should be very careful by handling this one. Try to use it in very precautionary measures. Use extra gloves. The vial, the mouth of the vial should not towards your nose, or your body should not exposed. Try to should not expose to that TAMID solution. It's carcinogenic and it's dangerous. SDS page is used for routine separation and analysis of protein because of its speed, simplicity, and solving capabilities. This SDS page, the gel is cast in a buffer containing sodium dodecyl sulfate and anionic detergent. The protein samples are okay. We also have to heat the protein samples. I just missed that point, and thanks to these slides that reminds me. When we prepared the protein, when we quantify the protein and we added the dye into the vials, and then we have to heat that samples for 5 minutes, no 10 minutes, for 10 minutes at 100 degrees centigrade in the boiling water, so all the samples can be boiled. So when the sample will boiled, the charge density of the protein roughly become equal to all the samples and into all the solution. Otherwise there will be some problem. Minimum 5 minutes you should boil the samples, and it will be very good if you will boil it for 10 minutes. So all the proteins and the density and the charge of the protein on all the proteins in the solution should be equal for the experiment. Sodium dodecyl sulfate denatures protein in the sample and binds tightly to the uncoiled molecules. Usually a reducing agent such as DTT, dithiol tritol, is also added to cleave protein disulfide bonds and ensure that no tertiary or quaternary structure remains. So these DDT we added to just cleave down or cut down the tertiary and quaternary structures of the protein. If the protein will be in tertiary or quaternary structures, then we cannot analyze the protein accordingly. So we should have the protein in the secondary or primary, not in primary, secondary structure. And you guys remember what is secondary structure is. So these samples, when you just use the electrophoresis experiments on these samples, the proteins that we have in that solution should be separated, depends on their mass and weight. And as if you guys study about that, the little proteins has different place, the proteins that has more in number and mass, has more amino acids, will be in other position. And there is a marker always we have, that is also known as ladder, on the first well that should be on the left side, or maybe sometimes, because I usually used on the both end the marker, I usually use the marker on the both ends, but usually the other researchers just use on the first well, and the marker will explain us or depicts the molecular weight of the proteins, as the marker has already defined the molecular weight, and marker has different colors at different positions, like at 100 kilodalton, at 500,000, depends on the nature of experiment and the nature of protein we are going to extract and analyze. Then we have native page. We already discussed about that. Native page proteins are separated according to the net charge, size, and shape of their native structure. Electrophoretic migration occurs because most proteins carry a net negative charge in alkaline running buffers. The higher the negative charge density, more charges per molecule mass, the faster a protein will migrate. Migrate means moves from one position to another position downward, because we have some charges, we have some electric current on that one, and if you just increase the voltage, protein will move faster. And if the temperature is less than about 80 volt, the proteins will move slowly. However, if you will just if the temperature will be more than 150 or 160 volt, then you will damage the gel and the proteins. So you should be very careful about that. Sometimes the researcher has less time, so they usually, when I have in hurry, I usually use 150, but mostly I use 120, because it's the ideal temperature for the machine to run the proteins from upside to downside. Small proteins face only a small fractional force. However, larger proteins face a large fractional force. Thus, native page separates protein based upon their charge and mass. As you know, small proteins is small in number, and then the smaller protein has to face small friction. It's a common sense. It's the same simple physics phenomena. Okay, then we have one-dimensional page, two-dimensional page, and three-dimensional page. We will discuss only one-dimensional page because we just perform one-dimensional page here. Only few labs perform two or three-dimensional page. It depends on their experiment, and two or three-dimensional pages are time-consuming more as compared to one-dimensional page, and also costly. In this, we just have one dimension from upside to downside. As you guys know, two-dimensional has x and y axis, and three-dimensional has x, y, and z axis. And the gel size depends on the percentage you just use to make the gel. Usually it is 2 into 3 centimeter small, and 15 to 18 centimeter in length. So you have a look to this one, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers are just depicting the wells, and we just have to put the comb when we just make the gel. And when the gel will be polymerized, or you can say solidify, but the actual word is polymerized. And when the gel become polymerized, just remove the comb very carefully not to damage the wells, and then add the samples to those wells. You can have a look to the YouTube for different videos of performing gel electrophoresis. Okay, this is the apparatus we have for this is in the vertical shape, but nowadays we have in horizontal shape. You can say we have powers that we already discussed, that power should be not more than 120 if you want the bands very good, and if you are in hurry you can use till 150 volt, but not more than that, it will damage the experiments. Mixture of DNA, or you can say sample, you have to load the sample here into the wells you generated and then just run the gel. The larger proteins will be on upside and the smallest protein will be on the lower side. As smaller from the current passing from the buffer, the smaller protein will move faster as compared to larger proteins. So supernatant is called protein lysate, in which is used for the Western blotting. The pellet we have that has the debris of cell content is always on the bottom of the vial. This is a vial in actual, and if you have less debris in the pellet, very less debris in the pellet, okay, you can analyze, or you can imagine that how much protein you have in supernatant through the debris. If there is very less debris, it means you have less number of cells, and if you have less number of cells, you have less quantity of protein. And if you have large number of debris or in the pellet, it means you have more cells, because okay, if you have 10 cells, the debris will be less, and if you have 100 cells or 1000 cells, debris will be more. When debris will be more, the number of protein will be more, the quantity of the protein will be more, and the improved quantity of the protein will have good results. So downside we have pellet, and upside we have the supernatant. So there are three types of lysate we have. First of all, whole cell lysate that we have in the start when we just add the lysis buffer. After that we have nuclear lysate that has only nuclear material. You can say in nucleus you have DNA and other material, other some proteins that just help the DNA to replicate and other procedures functions, and that is known as nuclear lysate. And then we have cytoplasmic lysate that has that has the content of cytoplasm, and what we have in cytoplasm like mitochondria, like chloroplast, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum. This is the third type of lysate. This is the cellular membrane, that is PVDF, that we discussed in our previous lecture, that we have to transfer the protein from gel to a cellulose membrane. And this cellulose membrane we showed here in this figure. You can see it's a cellular membrane, and you can see a dim ladder here. If you can see the cursor, this is a ladder and other proteins. So this gel has all the protein now. Transferring the membrane is placed on the top of the gel, and stack of the filter papers placed on the top and also on the bottom side of the gel. And then we just run that sac into a specific buffer that is made by a specific recipe, and we just use that buffer to run all the samples. And after that we will transfer that proteins that is on the gel onto the cellulose membrane. Asma, Taj or Aman Safir, anyone is here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Aman Safir अटेंडेंस मार्क की है बेटा. ये शोर तो नहीं आ रहा क्योंकि बाहर किसी ने कुछ करना शुरू कर दिया है?
जी सर.
ये शोर पे जी सर का
जी सर मार्क किया है.
शोर
नहीं अटेंडेंस पे सर,
क्योंकि मेरा ख्याल बाहर कोई ड्रिल मशीन चला रहा है गली में ना, सड़क पे, तो डिस्टर्ब हो रहे हो आप?
नहीं सर, लेक्चर क्लियर था.
क्लियर है, चलें, थैंक यू सो मच.
नहीं सर, क्लियर था लेक्चर. जी
थैंक
सर.
यू ब्रदर. So after transferring, we have to block the, here we are, sorry. Okay, after transferring, we have to block the membrane. So we already discussed about that. We will add that membrane into the milk that will block. The membrane has the ability to bind to the protein. In this case, both the target and antibodies are proteins. As you guys know, target protein, the protein we just want to analyze, and antibodies we add monoclonal, polyclonal antibody, first antibody and secondary, primary and secondary antibodies that we will show in the next slides hopefully, and could be some unwanted binding also. So by blocking, we just block the other specific or non-specific bindings. We just need the specific binding we want, and we have to block the other bindings. Otherwise, there will be so much mess because all the proteins of the cell will be on that cellulose membrane. And we are working on protein number A, protein A and B, only 2 proteins. And there are 20,000 proteins. So we have to block other proteins, and we will just have to analyze those 2 proteins, that is our target proteins like protein A and protein B. Blocking of specific binding is achieved by placing the membrane in a dilute solution of protein, typically bovine serum albumin, BSA. We used for that. We use this chemical for blocking of protein with the help of T20, that is known as twin 20. So we are running off time, and I don't know how many slides we have left. I'm sorry for that. Okay, we still have 11 slides. So what you suggest? Should I have to summarize these slides in 2 or 3 minutes that we left, or we should wait for the next lecture? Aman Safir and Asma Taj, please represent your class.
Sir, I
next
think
lecture
next
रख
lecture.
लें।
Next lecture में कर लें?
जी सर।
जी सर।
ओके हो गया फिर तो इसको यहीं पे समराइज करते हैं, ब्लॉकिंग से आगे शुरू करेंगे। सॉरी उमर, आपके क्वेश्चन का आंसर बेटा आगे है, वो इंशाल्लाह अगले लेक्चर में हो जाएगा कंप्लीट इंशाल्लाह ताला। एनीवन हैज एनी क्वेश्चन टिल नाउ? एनीवन? ओके, मैं 2 कंडीशन में बेटा सवाल नहीं होते। एक कंडीशन तो आपको सब समझ आई है, दूसरी कंडीशन आपको कुछ समझ नहीं आई। अब आप फैसला कर लें आप किस कंडीशन में हैं। अमन सफीर।
सॉरी सर, सर प्लीज रिपीट कर दें, आपने क्या कहा है?
मैंने कहा बेटा 2 कंडीशन में क्वेश्चंस नहीं होते। पहली कंडीशन के आपको कुछ समझ नहीं आई, दूसरी कंडीशन आपको सब समझ आई है।
जी सर।
अब आप बताएं आप किस कंडीशन में हैं।
सर मुझे ट्रांसफरिंग की समझ हो गया था, तो उससे पहले का मैं कुछ नहीं कह सकता।
अच्छा चलें जी। जी बेटा, किसी का कोई क्वेश्चन हो प्लीज रेज योर हैंड। एनीवन हैज एनी क्वेश्चन प्लीज रेज योर हैंड। जी अनीजा दिलावर 16711।
सर हमने एसडीएस क्यों यूज किया था?
एसडीएस केमिकल क्यों यूज किया या एसडीएस अप्रोच क्यों यूज की?
केमिकल।
बेटा क्योंकि सोडियम डोडिसाइल सल्फेट ही जेल बनाने में हेल्पफुल होता है, तो इसीलिए उस जेल का नाम, वो टेक्निक का नाम पॉलीक्रिलामाइड जेल इलेक्ट्रोफ्रेजिस है, और एसडीएस पेज का मतलब है कि एसडीएस हमने उसमें ऐड किया है केमिकल, और वो केमिकल स्पेसिफिक जेल बना रहा है जो कि हेल्प आउट करेगा प्रोटीन्स की मूवमेंट के लिए। दैट्स व्हाई वी यूज्ड एसडीएस। ये पाउडर होता है व्हाइट कलर का, सोडियम डोडिसाइल सल्फेट। जी मोहम्मद उमर।
सर आपने वन डायमेंशनल का भी सर सेपरेट डिस्कस किया, तो सर एसडीएस पे जो नेटिव और आइसोइलेक्ट्रिक वन डायमेंशनल नहीं है?
वन डायमेंशनल नहीं है, ये वन डायमेंशनल की हमने
पूछ रहा हूँ।
डिस्कस करें, क्योंकि 2 और 3 डायमेंशनल बहुत कम यूज होता है, वन डायमेंशनल ही होता है। और आपको पेपरों में भी अगर आप रिसर्च पेपर्स पढ़ेंगे इससे रिलेटेड, तो आपको वन डायमेंशनल वालों के ही वो नजर आएंगे रिजल्ट्स जेल्स के। जी हाँ, थैंक यू उमर। जी हमसा एहसान।
सर 2D और 3D कब यूज होते हैं फिर?
बेटा वो भी इसीलिए यूज होते हैं, लेकिन सेम है, पर वो टेक्निक है, अप्रोच डिफरेंट नहीं है, टेक्निक डिफरेंट है। मतलब कि जैसे कि पहले आप डिजिटल, पहले हाथ से तस्वीर बनाते थे, फिर वो रोल वाले कैमरा आ गए, और फिर ये डिजिटल कैमरा आ चुका है। अब एंड रिजल्ट सेम है, अप्रोच डिफरेंट है। 2 डायमेंशनल में आपको 2 तरफ से रिजल्ट्स नजर आते हैं, 3 डायमेंशनल में एक्स एक्सिस, वाई एक्सिस, जेड एक्सिस से आते हैं। 1 डायमेंशनल में सिर्फ एक आपको सामने से बैंड नजर आता है, जैसे कि हमने इस स्लाइड में देखा था जब मैंने आपको कहा था ये देखें वेल्स ऊपर लिखे हुए हैं 1 2 3 4 5 वाले। 2 डायमेंशनल में आपको बैंड जो है वो एक्स एक्सिस में भी नजर आता है, वाई एक्सिस में भी, और 3 डायमेंशनल में आपको नजर आता है तीनों एक्सिस में। मैं इंशाल्लाह कोशिश करता हूँ नेक्स्ट लेक्चर जब हमारा होगा उसमें एक एक मैं पिक्चर लगा दूंगा 2 और 3 डायमेंशनल की, ताकि आपका मौका पॉइंट क्लियर हो जाए। आप एक बार वो देख लेंगे तो ठीक है।
ओके,
थैंक यू। एनीवन हैज एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? Umar, still you? Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Inshallah, we will join in our next lecture. And please prepare. Tomorrow we will have lecture, inshallah ta'ala. And please, the students who left behind for activity, prepare your slides and take help from Aman Safir. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining.